Hello, welcome to the Indie Ocean. This is Avatar Stealth. It came out recently on Xbox Live Indie Games for 80 Microsoft points, the equivalent of about 60p in my local UK currency. And this, well, as you can see, it wears its Metal Gear Solid influences on its sleeve. In fact, on both sleeves, all over its shirt. It's covered head to toe in Metal Gear Solid influences, and doesn't entirely make it work. But you'll see what I mean as we get in there. First, let's get rid of this avatar of me standing there, trembling slightly, wearing my Blur shirt. That's Blur the racing game, not Blur the band. And with my vacant-eyed stare of terror. Alright, let's get on with it, so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so, as you may have noticed from the subtitle on the title screen, this is randomly generated stealth action. So, it does use procedural generation of some description. So the levels are different every time you play, more or less. The layouts, there seems to be a handful of broad layout types, so it's not entirely randomised. But maybe that's just me getting unlucky with recurring ones. Anyway, one thing you might notice quickly if you're observant, that I didn't notice for a long time, and that was a source of great frustration until I did notice it, is this. As I run around like a chimp, like I'm repeatedly stabbing myself in the face with a pair of forks. You can see this sort of sound wave, this ripple emanating from my feet, and then a much smaller ripple when I'm crawling around, or when I'm plastered to the wall like Solid Snake himself. That, as you might guess, is sound. In fact, I think I just said it's sound, so that would be a very easy guess. And for ages, I couldn't work out why the enemy drone things, you can see one through there, kept spotting me as I trotted past them. It's because of this, so you have to be very careful about the sound you make. You'll also notice there's a handy arrow near my feet that points towards the exit. And basically, the only controls are moving around with the stick, crawling around in stealth mode by holding the left trigger, and rotating the camera with the right stick. Now, the camera control jumped out at me as really irritating from the outset, because it does that Final Fantasy XII thing, where pressing left moves the camera left, so it actually moves your view to the right, and vice versa. So I'm pressing left and right. That's really irritating. I never got used to it in Final Fantasy XII, and I haven't got used to it here. It's counterintuitive and irritating, and just generally a debilitating handicap to gameplay. And annoyingly, there's no option to reverse it. So bollocks to that, Avatar Stealth. Anyway, unlike Metal Gear Solid, upon whose VR training missions this is clearly based, you can't take out any of these guards. All you can do is avoid them, and you'll notice they have a handy vision cone, not only on the mini-map, but right in front of their actual faces. How are we going to get past him? Oh, shit. I thought that was going to happen. You may notice that the game is pretty difficult. Thanks to its random generation, sometimes you'll get levels that are pretty straightforward, where you can nip past an enemy with plenty of cover and he's nowhere near the exit. And sometimes you'll get levels like that last one where he's standing basically right by the exit and there's no way to get past him, because crawling is too slow and running is too loud. See, this one's pretty straightforward. In we go. And whenever you're caught, you have to start the game over from the beginning, which is fine, but it does become irritating when you randomly get a level that's far more difficult than it really should be. The other thing worth noting here is that you can't actually stick yourself to the wall while you're in stealth mode. Only when you're in non-stealth mode, which makes absolutely no sense. So there are a few peculiar design decisions in Avatar Stealth, but I'd say the main one is the simplicity of the gameplay. It does what it does pretty well, and I applaud the developers for trying something different, and indeed I would encourage more developers to attempt something a bit out of the ordinary like this, especially on Xbox Live Indie Games where it's badly needed. But the thing is, there isn't all that much to do here. From this video, you will see basically the entire game. And if you download the demo, in the 8-minute demo period that you get on Xbox Live Indie Games, you will basically experience all that the game has to offer you. You may have noticed there, I don't know if it happened too quickly, but this also keeps the Metal Gear Solid alert system, where if you tip off an enemy a little bit to your presence, it will turn yellow and the exit will close, and it'll kind of nose around a bit looking for you. And if it definitely spots you, it'll go red and it'll just chase you and catch you in no time at all, because it's faster than you are, frankly. And that's game over if it goes red. Anyway, the other thing I want to point out is this. Custom game. Now this definitely adds some replayability to a game that otherwise is so superficial that it would get boring very, very quickly. You can customise the size of the levels, the difficulty of the guards, so you've got the maximum number of guards per room here, and you've also got the guards' sight range, so you can reduce that if you're finding them too difficult, or increase it if you're finding them too easy. You can turn off their vision cones if you really want to challenge yourself. Turn off your sound wave visibility so you can't see sort of the range of the noise you're making. So there is a lot of customizability there, and I think that will definitely contribute to the replayability of the game, but unfortunately I think that's more than balanced out by the shallow, repetitive nature of the game. I mean, for 80 Microsoft points, if this seems like something that might interest you, it's not a bad diversion for a little while, and certainly it's worth playing the demo to see... Oh, shit! It's worth playing the demo to see if it is something you might actually enjoy. There is fun to be had here, just that don't expect it to last very long, because all in all, there isn't much to this game, but I'd certainly like to see another game with a bit more to the gameplay based on this. Anyway, that's enough rambling from me. This has been Avatar Stealth. You've already got an idea of what the game's all about. As usual, I will put links below to the page where you can buy the game from, or download the free demo if you're so inclined. Until next time, this is me covering some games. Thanks for watching, and I will see you the next time round. Bye for now.